I think that's good. What do you think? What do you guys think? You guys like that? All right. Got our morning coffee. Sound effects, yep. Oh yeah. See if anybody. I always say, see if anybody comes in here. Like I'm pathetic. But I'm not pathetic. I'm actually kind of cool. I'm on my high horse today. My ego is strong this morning. But no, we're at the house. Possibly taking the truck in for maintenance. No, we'll see what happens. It's a busy day ahead of sitting here at the house. Got my coffee in the real mug because it's cold out here. But I hate doing live feeds from inside because it disturbs the family, and when that furnace kicks on, it kind of makes it hard to hear. And audio is very important when it comes to YouTube and all that. I think birds are much better audio than every 10 minutes. So anyways, do some shout outs. We got Grafton, Thor and Thunder Trucking. Good morning. Grafton says, wow. John Reynoldson, good morning. Clyde Garland, Overtax, Minnesota, Truck for Life. Thomas, it's go time. TK, top of the morning from Rocky Top, Tennessee. Scribe, that's one of my favorite stretches of road. I-24, between, is it Monteagle and Chattanooga? That's a beautiful stretch. I love that stretch. You like birds? Cool deal. RD, you changed your name again. Donnie Luke, Haggy, it's 53 here in sunny Florida. Nothing Witty is in the house. Nailed it. What's up? So one of the plans I have done today. Does anybody know what this is? I have no idea what this thing is. What I have to do today is something to do with this thing, which I have no idea what this is. Yeah, weird. It's like this springy thing, and I don't know, it's weird. I think it's like a paperweight. I'm gonna do paperwork. Like it just sits on the paperwork. I think you can throw it at mean cats. I think that's another purpose. It's a widget. Yeah, it's a widget. So it's got these weird numbers, 6 and 12. That's weird. I don't know what that means. Just found it laying around. Hi, housekeeper. Donnie Luke, boards 66. What's that? Yeah, it's just RD. It's a reading periodical. That's what it is. Old school Pez dispenser. Clyde, there you go. It's a Pez dispenser. It's a Freedom Pez dispenser. I like that. That'll work. That'll work. Wiper prints in case. Never mind. Am I going to be on the drinking game tomorrow? Truck for Life, I have a situation that I'm dealing with tomorrow. I'll be tuned in. But as far as drinking game, nah, my heavy drinking days are behind me. On occasion, I will have beer, and I gave up hard liquor a long time ago as a promise to my kids, and a promise to myself, because Rum and I got along pretty good many moons ago. I never reached alcoholic status, but we were heading there. If you could predict the future for my habits, we were heading there. So, but a beer, that's no big deal. And you can't drink like, I don't know about. I mean, I know other people can, but I can't. I can't do like 18 beers. I can't do that. My stomach would be this round, and my kidneys would be kicking my butt, and my liver would be like, dude, come on, I thought we were over this. But but it's for a good cause, so, but I will probably not be partaking, just watching. So take 9s. Good paperweight, especially with Donnie Luke, I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? You want to get rid of the zombies? Word up. If you can't participate because you're not a heavy drinker, then just do cocaine. What? You're gonna get the Google moderators on you. Don't get the Google gods mad. So now I made a special trip and picked up a bunch of these paperweights that came with this other thing, and I don't know, I'm gonna try to figure out how to use it. Paperweight thing. So like I said, I think you use it to man, this is very springy Pez dispenser. Oh, it's weird. High-speed chicken feed. Independent fact checker. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, this particular thing I got came with 3, and I bought 1, and I'm fixing to probably acquire a couple more, but we're gonna take it out, make sure the tool works, and that'll be my tool that I have on me all the time. Speaking of which, it's getting close to time to move, but we're still a couple of years away. But literally, I can throw a rock and hit the house. Somebody was shot and killed right on our street. We live on a dead-end street. Now, if there's any silver lining, it wasn't a random act. It was, they think that these people knew each other and there was a dispute. So it wasn't like just some random, like, robbery gone wrong or something like that. But it's kind of the state of how Springfield's getting. And my daughter, so it happened about 10 o'clock Thursday night. No, last night was Thursday. It happened about 10 o'clock Wednesday night. And I posted a link on my Facebook of, the article or whatever, and my daughter heard the gunshots, and which the neighbors claim in the news article that they didn't hear it, but you guys have heard the traffic noise from the front, and there's no telling. There's a lot of like trash can, a lot of these trash cans, when they get emptied, they make a lot of noise, and this is a very semi loud neighborhood between the birds, and the neighbor over there has got chickens, and then you've got the constant motorcycles that are racing up and down Glenstone. You have and then here in about a month you're going to start hearing fireworks, people letting off fireworks in town. So yeah, So, but yeah, there was a shooting literally just a half a block from here, and it just makes you think, because these EDC carry guys, they're like, oh, I carry even when I'm mowing my lawn. I'm like, oh, come on, I live on a dead end street, I don't have to do that, but you never know in this day and age what, in my town at least, so. Number them too, so if you have one that has some glitches, you'll know which one. James Best, that's a good idea. Thank you for that. What do you use? Just like, do you like engrave it or fingernail polish or what? What would work that won't affect the performance of the paperweight? Nailed it. I had a whole bag of brass that I was going to send to James Best, but that was right before the shortage of the pills, the Freedom pills and the Freedom Nuggets. And so I never did a whole lot of shooting after that. So, and I had a whole bag, just like a handful, that sat in the back of my pickup forever. And, they got, the bag leaked and it wasn't a good situation. So. Tolka, good morning. Other trucker for life. America is going back to the Wild West days. Unfortunately, that's true, because they're going to make it to the point that cops won't be able to do their jobs. And perfect example is what happened in Columbus. This cop literally saved a girl's life. And you had the media and stars, basketball stars and all these celebrities that just, without even knowing the facts, without even seeing the video. So Columbus police, man, they were quick to put that video out. Like, no, this person was actively trying to kill another person. And then some of the media tweets, oh, these kids get in fights all the time with knives. That hurt my head when I read that on Twitter. I'm like, yes, there are neighborhoods where that might be an issue, but still, the fact remains that if you go at another person with a sharp object towards another person, and there's a person in the room that has a firearm, they're going to take care of said situation to protect one person over the other. Doesn't matter if it's a cop, doesn't matter if it's gang, doesn't matter anything. That scenario will always end up in a negative fashion. That's it. So. John Kirkpatrick, do I like Mudvayne? I don't dislike them. Mudvayne's one of those bands. They actually played here in Springfield. A friend of mine got to open up for them. If they come on Liquid Metal, on Satellite, I don't turn it off. But I don't have any of their albums. I don't dislike them. They're one of those good background, like, that's better than, this overplayed classic rock crap that, comes on the radio. So I don't mind Mudvayne. They're all right. So. Domestic violence seems to be a big risk. Yeah. Well, I watched a video channel called Police Activity, and then there's Police Video Leak. And I can't tell you how many times a fatality occurs and it starts with the domestic abuse. That's why there's a special section in your background check form. If you've been convicted of domestic abuse, you can't purchase a firearm legally. So, lawnmower with a rifle rack. So where was you Wednesday night? Wednesday night I was I was in Harrisonville having dinner with a friend. Paint marker is good. Okay. A whiteout marker works. Okay. Sell now before property values drop while you have no truck payment. Buy a nice acre or two outside St. Louis and building a nice house. RD, you and I need to have a conversation because evidently you don't watch all my videos. So, so I use yellow parts marker paint. Can get it at Napa. Okay. Outside grilling 2 weeks ago. Wife's car and 3 others down the street got shot out. No witnesses. 3 p.m. Same boat. Time to move. Wow, Ninja, that's crazy. At the risk of sounding like a pale rider, that's crazy. I hear West Memphis is nice this time of year. Oh yeah, that in Little Rock, right? Only takes one stray bullet, I'd be boogieing out. Yeah. Can't blame them for quitting. They have families they need to go home to, so I'm all for fam. Don't do stupid stuff, you don't get stupid prices, right? As there seems to be an all-out war on, the more you defund, the less training they will have. And the more, have you guys ever heard of, a friend of mine told me about this. You ever heard of the blue flu? You ever heard of that? Most police departments have an incredible sick leave pay amount. In Atlanta, this happened. In Atlanta, when things got stupid last year, Atlanta, a ton of officers just called in sick. And if a whole precinct decides to do that in any given town, and the criminals get wind of that, that's going to be a problem. One of the things that I dealt with last year, a friend of mine called me, said that his daughter's car was broken into here in Springfield, and he lives in northern Missouri. And he mentioned that when he called the cop, or when she called the cops, they wouldn't come out because of COVID world, right? And that freaked me out a little bit because I knew that once criminals figured out that the cops aren't out patrolling, that they're only coming out to serious calls, it would be a free-for-all. And then I noticed traffic. If you guys remember, traffic, it was easy to get through St. Louis. It was easy to get through Atlanta. It was easy to get through Dallas because everybody was at home. But the other side of that was the people that were out were 90 miles an hour everywhere they went. I watched a fatality wreck happen. I approached it literally a minute after it happened there in St. Louis one night when I was picking up in downtown at 2 a.m, which probably wasn't intentional, but it wasn't my most brilliant move. But because they were racing. In a lot of these motorcycle groups, there's this whole, these guys get on dirt bikes in the middle of Baltimore, and they would just literally terrorize these neighborhoods, and they would just, it was crazy. I watched video footage of it, so it's not like one of these fear merchant, type, you must fear everything type videos. I'm very careful to not subject myself to a lot of that stuff because all it does is stress you out. So I just try to look at what's in front of me and try to stay focused. And I happen to enjoy the aspect of playing with these paperweights because I love paperweights. And I especially love taking freedom nuggets and throwing them at a circular thing so I can learn how to be a better nugget thrower with paperweights. So that is on the agenda today. It is. Nailed it. You're absolutely right. You're on 30,000 watts of car audio. Give me some bass. Okay. It's going to be a relative maybe, but birds are singing there and it's absolutely soothing. Well, good deal, Toga. I did some major cleanup of the back porch here, and it's been kind of my quiet space when I don't want to listen to the traffic in the front yard. So we Terry Ratman Roden, we had dinner with him last night. He was in Springfield. It's always awesome to hang out with him, and then I've got another friend coming into Springfield tomorrow that we're going to have dinner with. Oh, by the way, I'm fasting. Even though I just talked about dinner. Dinner last night to dinner tonight is my 24-hour fast. Little Viking Coach put up a video. He gave me a shout out, and I appreciate it, Little Viking Coach. And even though I've had a couple of cheats this week, thanks to Mexican food, you know, and by cheat I mean like not exactly keto, you know, by the book friendly. Not like I went out and bought a dozen glazed donuts or anything like that, but just the tortillas and the chips, you know, that's kind of, and you feel the difference. But the intermittent fasting, and this is my third Friday in a row doing the solidarity fasting, as Little Viking Coach has put it, and I feel like I'm coming back to my old self, you know, before the COVID world, before my attention was distracted. So that was an upper range Wookiee. Didn't even make my Rosinga shimmer. Well, let's love your way. Orion, you know, your name is 100% accurate. You do rule. I need to get to Oklahoma and hang out with you. Yeah, LVC does stay up late. I don't know if he was up late or up early this morning when he uploaded that video, because I was up at 3:45 and that video was posted an hour ago, so it was like 2 a.m. So well, I guess California, that'd be like midnight, right? So yeah, I guess he was up late, but he's not in here now that I've seen. So trucking wise, I did pretty good. That trip to Wisconsin was kind of nice. Might do it again. At the end of the day, it didn't really change my numbers. I lost the day because I was being dumb. And I'm losing a little bit of time because I had to be home this weekend. You know, I've got a doctor's appointment on Monday, and I've got company coming in Saturday, and then dealing with some family stuff Saturday and Sunday. So now I have something being built for me that might have to go on a different channel related to paperweights, and I can't wait to, you know, I don't know, maybe it's a friend of mine that's getting this thing that's for his paperweights. Yeah, I might show that on a different channel. He's on that Cali time. Scott SRO Logistics, good morning. Anthony Bressler, I will be back up that way one of these days. Hell, the wife and I flew out to Phoenix yesterday so she could eat at her favorite restaurant. One of these days I'll fly up there. You don't need to fly. It's only a 6-hour trip up here, up to good old Springfield, Mo. Masquerade is in full force on the left coast. Dave, You know, when you text me where you going, I just shook my head and I was just like, and I'm still shaking my head. In fact, I'm gonna have to go see a chiropractor because I was shaking my head so much at what you told me where you were going. Is it a black boat anchor? Oh, Ryan, wait till you see pictures of what this is gonna look like. No, James Vest. Uh, Big Rig CEO, very generous, gave out 500, um, gave out a little donation there to your cause yesterday, so that was good. Um, no, this is a different friend from out of town that's coming in. Pneumatic Brick, good morning. I have it's Snorelord's old channel. I haven't uploaded anything in forever, and I don't even think I have it connected to my phone, which I need to. If you want to see the early Snorelord, there's my first vlog is on there. I was starting to do music reviews, and then I did some driving time-lapse videos with some death metal bands. There's a crowbar in there. There's a video of me delivering in New Orleans. It's one of my favorite videos I've ever done. I should download it and put it on this channel. There's a tour of my brand new 2012 T660, you know, that the company had put me in. And there's some apnea live footage on that. That's kind of where that channel really started. And that was kind of the reason why I started a new channel, is because this channel was intentionally only going to be a Landstar Talking Hog vlog, Talking Head vlog, not Talking Hog, and it just kind of transformed into something else. So oh, okay, Scott, I will. Ratman Rodin, like my shirt, Ratman. I want one of the new Ratman shirts because they're black and heavy metal looking. Big Houston, what's up? In and out in 1.5 hours. Good. Tolga Salty said if he does well in the market this week, he'll donate 5K. Wow. How long ago was your channel? 12 years ago. It was in the early days of the only trucking YouTubers around at that time was Tex Crowley, Trucker Steve, Trucker Two Times, and a couple of others. And that's kind of why I started that, because I thought that would be a good thing. But it was a spot for me to put the apnea stuff on, some of the live video footage that some friends of mine acquired. And I've got like a whole stack of like physical videotapes that I need to transfer over to DVD and digitally so I can put them up on YouTube. So, Describe, thank you. Good morning. Thank you very much. Shattered fragments of the past, right? Salty market is down this morning. Not good, nailed it. Well, look, the stock market had a really good conversation. Someone was finally able to tell me what digital currency was, and the ins and outs of investing in it. Because I've mentioned this before, but it's like, hey, you should invest in Dogecoin. Well, what's Dogecoin? Well, it's Dogecoin. It's a thing. You put money in, you get money out. You know, like what? And it's kind of like, you know, these cults. You know, like you should believe in the All Father. Well, what's the All Father? He's just the All Father. Well, what is it? Well, he's nothing and everything at the same time. You know, and it's the All Father. Well, what is it? Well, it's just the All Father. You know, that's kind of what it reminded me of. Oh, Ike Stevens. Yeah, look, Ike was around in those days, well, but he and I started our channels at the same time, and you look how his channel kind of took off. So I mean that's you know, I've got no ill remarks towards how Ike has managed his YouTube channel. You know, Pale Rider's been around a long time as well. I think he and I started maybe around the same time, if not a little bit sooner. But anybody who was YouTubing, so I mean, well, it depends. Doing trucking YouTube videos started about 2010 for me, but 2009 is when my YouTube channel was created. Bitcoin down $3,000. No one really understands it all, Anthony, and that should be the scariest thing. That's the thing. It's like, if you invest in a company like say, like if I invest in a company that makes these, right? Like, this is a physical asset. All the planning and engineering and the marketing that goes into making this product, you know, you can buy a piece of that. That's a physical thing. Now, again, it's only numbers on a digital screen. You know, if I suddenly make $1 million, you know, making these, that's literally a digital number until I actually need the physical cash, right? But it would take a long time for something like this to get destroyed, right? Whereas crypto, boom, the snap of one finger, the snap of the right hacker, the snap of, you know, the wrong password, right? And we've heard those stories. So now, if you want to throw $100 at something, play the lottery, play it like the lottery. I'm thinking about even doing that. You know, I'm thinking about like, I'll do $100 in Dogecoin, see what it does. But as far as like putting life savings and stuff like that, no. Best explanation I heard of Bitcoin came from a friend who was messing with it ages ago. He's just treat it like internet gambling. I just buy into it now and then, and sometimes I win money. It is a giant gamble. So if you can lose $100, put in $100. You know, and, you know that. Look, it looks like something that'd be fun to dabble in, because, like if I park at a casino, you know, like for example, Durant, Oklahoma. You know, that you got the Choctaw truck stop. If I go in, I'll throw in $20, okay? And sometimes I've come out with 200. Sometimes I've come out with 100. Sometimes I come out with -20. And so I look at it that as like, well, I'm willing to lose $20 because that'd be no worse than if I paid for parking at the TA, right? Or you know, or any other truck stop. And so I'm willing to lose $20. $20 isn't going to make or break me. You know, if I get $100 and a good meal. You know, I used to go to Ameristar all the time when they allowed you to have trucks there. And usually I would win enough money to pay for that fancy buffet that you eat too much of, and I'd be, you know, feeling like miserable. You know, and every now and then I'd hit $100 or something like that. And that would be my coffee money for a week, you know, or 2 weeks or whatever. The first time I ever hit the slots was in Durant. I literally, within the first 5 minutes, won like $150. So I immediately cashed out, went to my truck, put 120 in the truck, and then went back out and played another 20 and lost it. You know, and that's how I gamble. I'm not, you know, I'm not in any position to throw $1,000 at something that may or may not make a return for me. Now, if you go to Las Vegas with $1,000, you're not just, you know, dealing with the gambling, you're dealing with the experience, you know, all the things that you can do and all that. And so you're paying for memories, right? You know, so that's good money spent. But as far as putting life savings in something that I can't smell, touch, or feel, that doesn't sit well with me. Now, if you're making money at it, bless you. You know, good on you. But I just, I don't know. I just, when I see a bunch of people that have put money into it and can't explain it, logic says that, I don't know, that defies logic to me. I mean, I'm just, I don't know. That's just weird to me. So I'd rather take that, you know, money and give it to a good cause, you know. Okay, we're going to the comments here. I'm behind. Sorry, guys. After I get my reload, I'm going to be home for the weekend. It's like trucking. You hear all the big winners making money, but when they lose, you don't hear from them, right? I got to go pick up in Huntington, West Virginia. More than 90% digital currencies will disappear in time. We will see just a few of them going to lead the market, but all of them still testing by the market. There's no government regulations. Tolga, that was another point that a friend of mine made, was that most pyramid type structures, the richest top few make all the money, and then everybody else suffers. That's it. That's how it works, and that's what I see happening with digital currency. So no, not one of the exchange companies are 100% trustable right now. We will see what happens in the future. I agree with that, Tolga. Good morning, G-Star. Greetings from Columbus. Chilling weekend. What's popping though? We're cold here too, man. It's kind of sucks. Eddie Drotar. Charles is in the house. If someone scores big on crypto, then someone had to lose. That's absolutely true. It is going to burst. And so, like I said, I've thought about downloading the Robinhood link or something else. You guys recommend something better than that, and just throwing $100 at it, at see what happens. You know, what was it? Hensley said that he took $91 and got $1,000 out of it, which that's pretty cool. You know, and then I would do the same thing that I do with the casinos. I would take that $1,000, cash out, put 900 away, and then put the original 100 back in. So, I mean, I know that's not. Look, don't come to me for investing advice, other than invest in something real, something physical. You know, like land, property. You know, stuff like that. You know, even a vehicle like your truck, like your precious truck, is a depreciating asset. You know. Charles Brandt sending money to my foundation. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. You've always been generous. But now I thought I'd come on here, do my coffee, and show off my new paperweights and talk about fasting a little bit. Little Viking coach said, you know, he gave me a shout out and he said, oh, you know, you're Snorelord, he does a lot of good health information, and someone's going to go to my channel like trucking, live feed, trucking. This guy doesn't talk about health. Healthy beard maybe, but that's it. Don't invest in juvenile investments. Well, but Hensley's story is not the only one I've heard. I've had people call me privately and tell me how much money that they've made off of that, and Jeff's kind of ADD about it. He'll be talking about trucking, all of a sudden Dogecoin, like squirrel, and so he's making money. But I just made $20 or 70% of $20 here just talking to you about stupid crap. So I mean, but I appreciate every single one of you. I want to do some things that's gonna take my channel to another level. And so I'm formulating a plan, and that's, I've got some good things, hopefully. I'm gonna get on a couple of bandwagons with a few things. That's funny. Look, you guys were talking about alcohol. James Best, I don't know if you feel me here, right? I was a Bacardi 151 guy. That with the chaser. That was what I did. Not on a nightly basis, mind you, but when I was in a certain mood, that was the bottle of choice. And mind you, this is like, it's been at least 10 years since I've touched 151. And it was funny because there was a bar that we used to play at all the time, and I noticed that they had some on the shelf. We were done playing, somebody else was driving, we'd already loaded our gear, and I go, hey, you got 151? He's like, you want a shot? I'm like, yeah. So he buys me a shot. He goes, now, Steve, you realize you're the only one that we let you drink this, because we usually keep this on the shelf for the guys that want to do the flame, spit the flames out, thing for their stage act. That's how potent 151 is. Yeah, it did, James Best, it did. There's usually after a 151 night, I was apologizing to a lot of people, because you think I'm obnoxious now. You wait till you see me like 151 drunk. You're going to be like, well, Steve, it's been nice knowing you. You're kind of you're weird. So you're annoying, I guess. I was never a violent drunk. I was more of the happy, repetitive, guy that's just very annoying, and I would stay, alcohol is a truth serum. It'll make you speak truths that you normally keep inside. So I do need to bring back the Red Chicken. Look, Red Chicken has his own channel. There might be some stuff coming up soon with that. He might be reviewing. Red Chicken might be reviewing paperweights. So just saying. But yeah, Red Chicken, man, he is an advocate for freedom pills and paperweights. Trust me, freedom pill Pez dispensers. Clyde, that's going to stick with me. You coming up with the Pez dispenser. But Red Chicken might have to show off my friend's custom work that he's getting done. So I was always a fun drunk until someone started a fight with me, and then I became an extremely violent drunk. That's the thing, though. When you get that plastered at a public place, it time and time again, it puts you in a situation that you normally wouldn't. They say that if you carry every day, okay, if you carry every day a tool one of the advices, one of the advice elements that they tell you in the class to get said EDC permit is that don't put yourself in a situation that you wouldn't put yourself in without the tool. In other words, just because you have a tool doesn't mean that you need to be braver. Doesn't need to mean, the puffy chest syndrome is how somebody put it. I got me a tool, and I hold true to that. I'm very, very aware of my surroundings because of the areas that I've had to grow up. I didn't always live in a small town. I mean, I've lived in small towns and big cities. I've lived in gang territories. I've lived in very peaceful, the only thing you got to worry about is the cow cutting across the road, and at a time in my youth, I craved cities. There was a time where I wanted to move back to Phoenix, and I still enjoy Phoenix, Arizona, but the neighborhood I lived in is not the same neighborhood. So, I mean, it's in RD, I lived off of 39th Avenue in Thomas, if you know where that is. And you just never know. Truckers Final Mile, that organization, they were doing a campaign for a guy that was shot in his truck there in Atlanta. No, he was in Ohio and he lived in Atlanta. And you've had some random, that there was some news reports of one of the gang affiliation or rituals is to, shoot at random cars at 3 a.m. We live in a dangerous world. I mean, if unless your eyes have been closed and you've completely gotten off social media, which if you're on this, you haven't gotten off social media. It's a dangerous world. You gotta protect yourself. Both physically and mentally. I don't carry every single place I go, and I'm not carrying out of the truck, especially in certain states. But you just got to be aware. I don't walk around in fear. I'm not walking around looking for a fight, but I try not to even put myself in a situation. People are always like, what would you do in this situation? They always ask me that in trucking. What would you do in this situation? I'd be like, I don't know, because I would never put myself in that situation. Well, what if you did? I'm like, well, that's hard for me to grasp because I would never even get close to that, position. So. Trucker for life. Great Freight Sage Logic, message retracted. Nailed it, I agree. Yeah, CRD, I told you. Yeah, there was RD, when I was a kid, I was like 12, 13 when we lived there. I could ride my bike. I had a paper route. I'd have to get up at like 3 and 4 in the morning on Sunday mornings to deliver papers. I used to walk around with cash when I had to collect. And now I don't even like my teenagers walking around the street, walking around here. Especially since I almost got, I don't know what almost happened to me, just literally right over here. I was on my way to craft and someone was approaching my truck at 3 a.m. aggressively. He almost got run over. Pro tip, if you look sketchy and you're approaching my truck at 3 a.m., you're probably going to get run over. Just saying. Safety first. Thomas, I swear. Yeah, paper route, man. Dude, I delivered the Phoenix Gazette. It was the afternoon paper. You had the Arizona Republic, which was the morning paper, and then you had the Phoenix Gazette, that was the evening paper. And then Sunday they were combined. So Sunday the papers were like that big, and Sundays were a pain in the butt. But my house was the station, so the papers were delivered by truck to my house, and then you had to bag them all, or put rubber bands. We didn't use a whole lot of bags because it's Phoenix; it never rains. So, and then you'd fill up these baskets that you modified, put on your bike, and because those bags that you put on your handlebars, you're like, those are so clumsy and so dangerous. And then a couple of us hated to go back to the station to get more papers, right? So we would come up with wagons that were trailers, and those modifications never really worked. But yeah, you were literally delivering papers and then collecting the money. It's like the early version of getting your own authority. Is kind of what it was, or being contracted to someone, like trucking or something like that. Yeah, it was and I value those days, man. I really I really value those days. That's why I'm a truck driver. There's a certain amount of joy that I get from delivering something. Um, it's pretty cool, and I enjoy it. And that was good. I got tips all the time. Christmas time was the bomb, because you had people throwing me free stuff, and you know, and there was just and if you were around a good group of kids that were with their routes and everything, it was a good time. It was a good time. I enjoyed those days. And now paper routes are done by old creepy people in cars that do literally huge areas. So, and I say that because for a while I had to help an old creepy person with his paper out. And that got weird, so we had to get out of that situation. That's a bumper sticker, small print. If you could read this, it was 3 a.m. and you look sketchy. We had the weekday and the weekend routes, had to count them, and had the bag and wrap around your handlebars. Yep, nailed it. The weekend, Saturday was like mid-morning, and it was a thin paper. And Mondays were thin, Tuesdays were thin, Wednesdays were thick, Thursdays were super thin, and Fridays was middle ground, and then Saturdays were super thin, and Sunday was like, I hate this, because Sunday was a double whammy, because now you had to make more trips because less papers in the bag, right? You had to put them together, like here's the insert, here's this, and then you had to wake up at like 3 in the morning. So, and then it was 7 days a week. I had to deliver on Christmas morning. That sucked. Had to get your dad involved. I never had. Look, that was the beauty of the paper route, man. You they didn't pay you. You just stopped delivering. So yeah, but no, I enjoy the paper routes, and now would I do it today? Absolutely not. But it was a good lesson. It was a good lesson in budgeting. It was a good lesson in managing, because you bought the papers, right? You bought the papers, and literally the subscribers would have to pay you back. That's kind of how it worked. So it was good. It was a good lesson. It's a good platform, especially if you want to become a truck driver. or a UPS driver, you know, whatever. He still makes money. I was kind of on my own because my dad was driving a truck, and so, um, you know, so it wasn't like I get, you know, use him as Guido to come after anybody. But I don't know, I don't, nothing stands out in my memory of anything. There was one gal that I think made moves on me, you know, because you know I was like 13 or 14, I think. But um, other than that, she tipped really well. So, and I was cute. I know it's hard to believe, but I was cute back then. I was cute. Now you wouldn't know that looking at me now, but you know, this is what time and anger and misery has done to the cute kid that I was. I had a good route. I did have a good route. It wasn't really in a bad part of town. And when you got an apartment complex, that was so awesome. Like 20 papers in one small area, you know, and I was a good bike rider. I was pretty good at riding my bike. And so I'd get on these balconies because the way these apartments were, they weren't separate balconies. So you get up, take your bike up the steps, ride down the steps because that's how awesome I was. And then, you know, that made collecting easy. So that was probably the worst part was the collecting, because now, you know, I'm not sitting at home doing nothing. Now I had to like get on my bike and get my little money pouch and you know, be a 14-year-old running around with cash and probably not the best neighborhoods. Yay. Probably couldn't pull that off in that neighborhood these days. First feeling of business owner, you didn't get paid by the hour, you got paid by the customers, right? And the better service you got, the more word of mouth, like, you know, and you get that, one of the awesome things when you get that printout of your new customer, you know. So the new customer, they will get the door service. They were like, hey, I'm gonna put this on your porch because I'm awesome. You know, and then a month later you're just like, yeah. And then what I hate is when the rubber band broke when you threw it. Paper goes everywhere. Yes. Yeah, Maryville. My sisters went to Maryville High School. I went to RD. Let's talk Phoenix for a second. I went to PT Co Elementary, and then I went to Isaac Junior High, which had to have an armed guard. Which, you know, I think all schools should have an armed guard, but you know, and then I had to go to Alhambra. I went to Alhambra for literally 2 weeks. And then after that, we moved to Springfield. So, but yeah, my sisters went to Maryville. They had changed the districts right before I started high school. I have fond memories of Phoenix. I remember I had my son with me, and we took a trip out to Phoenix. We picked up a load out of Kansas City and took to Phoenix, and it was awesome because it was a light load. Of course, it didn't matter except, you know, I didn't pay the fuel, right? And you know, got to hang out with my sister and swim in her pool, and it was awesome. It was a good trip. My Thermo King went out, so there's that. You know, because Thermo Kings, they always go out because they're pieces of crap. But the last time I went to Phoenix was with Landstar, so I've been out there in the spot market. I've looked at loads out there, but the rates coming out, this is the way I look at it. the rate going into Phoenix on a normal market, maybe not today, but on a normal market, and then the rates coming out of Phoenix coming back east, don't justify me only making $700 or $800 a day. I'd rather do that around here. So as much as I love going through I-40, I-40 is one of my favorite stretches between Oklahoma City and Phoenix. I just absolutely love it. And I love that 17-mile hill going down from Flagstaff into the valley there. That's one of my favorite drives. I just haven't been out there in a minute. So, but anyways, we're at an hour. This has been a good chat. Hopefully Pill Rider will go live tonight, and hopefully I'll be available if he wants me to hang out with him. But he might have a guest. You never know. He might call me up and say, Steve, for the love of God, don't join my live feed, please. You just annoy people. You know, he might do that. So be sure to tune in tonight. Hopefully he'll go live and not fail us like he did last weekend. Just kidding, Pill Rider. And then as far as my weekend live, I'm not going to do one because I want you all to watch James Best and his drinking game and the money that's going to be raised for a good cause. $ Country Time 1977. Help his family out. Cancer sucks. That's why I'm fasting. Is for my health. And, you know, let's see. Look, if you hate the government, if you hate all the bull crap that's going on, don't give in to the eating propaganda. We've been programmed to eat so many times a day and eat. You have to eat, you know, and when you start fasting, I kid you not, it's more about breaking the habit. They say when you quit smoking, there's the physical addiction aspect, but there's the hand-to-mouth motion. That is also the habit that is hard to break. And so a lot of people, you know, replace that with lollipops or, you know, something else that's probably bad for you, or vaping or whatever. And because it's a physical habit as well. And that's tough, guys. I'll you know, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is tough. And breaking habits, you know, but once your mindset, you know, someone asked me, it must have been difficult to lose over 100 pounds. And I'm like, it was difficult starting. It was difficult maintaining in the beginning. But then once my mindset clicked, it was easy. And it can be easy for you too. So, if you're using paperweights, be safe. You know, let's try to have a good day, and be sure to tune in to Pale Rider tonight, and be sure to tune in to Mr. James Best tomorrow. So, with that being said, thanks for watching. You all have a good day. Peace.